On today's Witch Word of the Day, Kevin, it is a noun. It is someone who is very near and dear to my heart. You want to know why? Because I created the fuck out of her. This is my character, Angie, from Witch's Brew, A Dream of Waking. The reason I chose her is she's kind of a mystery character in the first book. She's very like, is she good? Is she bad? And she is very into kind of the soul manipulation. Like she enjoys kind of spreading people's souls into objects, or sometimes maybe taking a soul and putting it in like a living person's body, so they're kind of possessed by that soul and not in control of themselves. So yeah, fun character, and one that I wanted to show off on the pod, girl.
Oh my gosh, do you have a picture of her? Do you have a drawing of her?
I was thinking I would draw one and send it to you so you could advertise
Good.
it for free.
Absolutely. That will be the picture for Word of the Day and a link to where you can buy the book. I love it.
Stop it.
Is that your preferred power, Shawn? Like, if you ever had powers, is that your preferred power?
No, I would want one of two. I'd either want to read people's minds, but then I know, like, when you can actually do that, you probably don't want to, because then you know exactly what everybody thinks of you. I think I'd want ice powers, like my boyfriend Iceman.
Okay, fair. I feel like I'm terrible. Like, I remember watching the show, obviously, and one of my powers that I wish I had was just to freeze everything so that I can kick people in the butt and then just come back to where it was.
And they won't even know. Yeah.
Yeah. Or teleporting, since I live in LA and I hate traffic.
You haven't even read that?
Wait, what are you doing with the book?
So he has the confidence to finish the story.
Hear now the words of the witches.
This is Kevin, and welcome to Words of the Witches, the Charmed podcast that will guide you through the lesser-known published material in the Charmed universe and decide how it fits into the grand narrative of the TV series. All right, so welcome to Words of the Witches, episode 98. We're getting closer to that 100-episode mark, Shawn. Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh my goodness golly.
And I am Kevin, your resident Charmed resource.
And I'm Shawn, and I just love comic books.
And we do have a guest, which will become two guests in a little bit. But
by osmosis.
By osmosis. They'll orb in
by astral projection.
Yes, astral projection. So this is Mark. Hello.
Hello, how's it going, guys? Good to see you again after the Aqua concert.
I know, we got to see you at the Aqua concert back in July.
Right? That was such a surprise. I was like, Kevin?
It was
like
super
literally
exciting.
in the line. Like, it was just serendipity.
Yeah. And we love Aqua, so it was even better.
I agree.
So tell us about your relationship with Charmed.
Okay.
Yeah. How you discovered it and what it's like and what it turned into.
All right. So I did not grow up here in the United States. I actually grew up in the Middle East in a little country called the United Arab Emirates, in Abu Dhabi in particular. And I discovered Charmed when my best friend, who also now lives here, by the way, which you guys met in the Aqua concert, came here for a holiday, and she came back with recordings from here, and it had the very first Charmed episode, and I just remembered, what is this? And I was hooked since then. The sad part of it was we didn't really have English programming until like much later, so I only had that one pilot for like years, and then all of a sudden they had it, but it was never in order. That's how bad it was. Like, English programming there was never in order. Like, you'd get like a random episode, so I never really got to experience that until obviously like Netflix and streaming and all of that stuff. So yes, I did kind of like watch and rewatched all of it, including I'd say about 2 months ago I rewatched the entire series all over again. But I guess what I do is I work in film and TV, primarily in visual effects. I started out as an artist. I eventually got into the directing role. But fun fact, I was just telling the guys here a little sort of like Charmed kind of experience. The way I got into the industry was I loved the show so much that whenever people visited my house, like, we'd always replicate, well, Charmed fights. So there's always people orbing into the house. There's fireballs being thrown all over the room. My brother would always, telekinetically throw stuff all over the room. And I kind of taught myself that. And that's really how I got into the industry. I taught myself the work, or to kind of replicate a lot of the stuff that they did, which eventually led me to coming here, and quite frankly led to this little baby. So, and Emmy for television.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Yeah, this is all thanks to Charmed, because if it wasn't for Charmed, I probably wouldn't have gotten into the industry or even had the interest to do it. Like, I think, when you're growing up, like, we're all kind of like film nerds, right? I guess I was just the extra film nerd that kind of had the other sets of curiosities. And so instead of just like watching it and becoming a fan of it, I kind of like tried to replicate it with all of my friends. So yeah, I think my first thing that I did was, I think I tried to replicate the orbing effect, and I was 16 in high school in 2000. Yeah.
Crazy. And
and I also made comics.
Yes.
I made comics.
Yes, talk about your comics. Yeah,
Yeah. So the comics that we do, they're kind of mythological as well. I come from a Filipino American background, so it kind of has like some of the mysticism and mystery to that. And you'll meet Erica, who is kind of the character here in the cover. So here's her.
That's
when
Carmina.
That is Carmina when she goes all crazy. Carmina is kind of the, how can I say this? I think my favorite episode of Charmed was really All Hell Breaks Loose, was because finally Prue let out. I think when we kind of like were conceiving Carmina was really an untethered power, because she kind of had a crappy upbringing. So when she finally goes into her power, it wasn't like a nice opening. It was literally all hell breaks loose. It's kind of like she just goes crazy, and that's her trajectory until she kind of gets de-escalated down the line. So instead of kind of building up to her power, she immediately escalates into her power, goes nuts, and then gets punished and gets de-escalated.
Do you have other projects within the company?
Yeah, we do. I mean, like, okay, I'm one of those people who I think I have way too many projects for me to care about. Like, there's Carmina, we have a lot of other titles as well. And it seems like every other month we come up with something new. Like, we're, when Barbie came out, we joined this film contest, and for some reason, we're like, I guess Barbie's coming out. We should do something that kind of is a homage to that. So we did, what if Barbie was psycho and was hyped up on Adderall, and they were just really, really mean? So we're actually coming up with a short that we'll be releasing pretty soon that kind of has a Barbie feel, but what if Barbie was kind of like psychotically cray-cray? I mean, not that the film didn't have any of that, but yeah, it's so random. I mean, I don't like kind of being constrained genre-wise, because I do like going from something super dark to something super just candy-filled, just because, that's life. You can't just be like one thing. I mean, people that just want to be all dark and brooding, I'm like, dude, that's boring. You can shift it up a bit.
Yeah. Last week I asked the question. This was just a very general question. Like, what do you do to celebrate the Halloween season? So do you do anything special, Mark?
You know what? I am very inconsistent. I feel like depending on how busy I am, like I'm either a lot more festive or I'm a Halloween Grinch. Unfortunately, this year I'm a Halloween Grinch. Although, to my credit, at every convention this year, I did dress up. And for some reason, I just didn't feel like doing one for Halloween. Maybe I got exhausted from Halloween. But let's see. I mean, typically we kind of decorate the house, so we're in the hills. We have like this giant inflatable spider that we kind of like hang on the side of the house, which is cool. And Shawn, if you haven't been to areas like, are you aware of Toluca Lake, which has like amazing just Halloween installations? So we usually walk around there, and it's basically where a lot of like film and TV people live, and so they basically turn their houses into just these insanely elaborate like Halloween places. We did that last year, and that was pretty cool.
I got some responses from people. Radical Retro Rewinds and Spooky Movies and Music, and Charmed Season 1. Elvis Phoenix, who is a big Alyssa Milano fan who I met in Paris, says horror movies all night. So lots of people just stay home and watch movies. That's like what I do. I haven't been to like parties. I'm a big homebody when it comes to Halloween, because I dress up all the other rest of the time of the year with the conventions.
See exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what I did, right? Because it's like you do it at every other place you go to, so it's not like Halloween is that special as much.
Right. Yeah.
Ooh,
Ooh, we're having a friend join us.
Someone's orbing in.
Woo!
Astral projection.
Astral projecting in. Hello.
Hello.
So, Erica, I was going to ask you about your Charmed journey, how you discovered the show.
The TV show, well, I guess I have it in common with Mark. It was just one of my favorite shows, I guess, as a kid. I had to religiously watch it every week, back to back with Buffy. It's funny, I did like a little, sorry, the sun's like on me, like I should open my blinds or something. I did like a little recap of last night, just looking at a little collage somebody made. They were like my idols too, I guess. I can't escape them. I loved all three of the sisters. You know, they were also favorite actresses to me.
And Erica's an actress and a model.
Yeah.
Like,
When she's not glowing.
The sun-kissed glow.
it's always, oh my God, you guys. There's no escaping. But yeah, I love, it's just, I guess, like an all-time favorite show, and even the actresses. I was telling Mark recently, I think Shannon Doherty was my favorite. I even liked her in 90210, you know? So.
Yeah.
We missed, like, what, I guess they asked, like, what else do you do or have done?
I guess I worked international for a long time. I modeled in Indonesia and the Philippines and Hawaii, and I was back and forth for 8 years before I had my daughter. I'd come back to LA and then focus again on mostly acting. And now I've got my daughter. I'm here in Atlanta, but I've been working on a 2B show this year, and I'm going to do an independent film, but a lot of our own projects.
The Diwata Komiks and
Where we're definitely challenging a lot of the fandom here and there. I feel like you can't step away from the things that you love, and you kind of just take your own spin in it as you kind of like develop your own material. And well, funny story. Like, I met Erica when she and 3 friends like pitched to me about these 3 Asian girls being possessed by 3 witches from Salem. I was like, I don't know about this. I think this is a little too derivative. Let's switch it up a bit.
It was actually supposed to be like an Asian Charmed. We were writing a short film. We thought we had like this amazing idea. And the day before we shared it with Mark, I had driven by the Charmed billboard, the new one, like with the Hispanic actresses.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all so upset. I was like, oh no. And of course, that's the first thing Mark says. He's like, so how is this different from the new Charmed?
Oh my God, my brain just went, what if it was an Asian Charmed and then they would have some sort of wuxia included in it? I'm like, oh my God.
Right. I mean, someone said too, like they could have had, I don't know, I didn't watch the new show, but they could have done like Brujeria with this one. So I don't know.
No, they did actually.
Okay.
They did.
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
So
that was interesting. I did enjoy that part.
Okay, well, that is good. Good opportunity. I did want to mention something from last episode that I didn't spend enough time on. I have to apologize. I did mention it, but there was 2 covers that Maria Sinapo, the artist of this series, drew, and the initial cover is the one that has Paige in the cream top, Phoebe in the pink pirate wench outfit, and Piper in like the navy boob window shirt. But then fans did not like that. They didn't think it was accurate. So then they changed it to more conservative outfits. Paige in a black blazer, Phoebe in the teal shirt and like work jacket, and then Piper in her red long sleeve shirt. There's 2 versions. I just wanted to point it out there now so everyone remembers and knows.
For the cover?
Yeah, for first issue. We're in issue 2 now. We're going to go over those covers in a moment. I guess we can do that right now. So, silence. Let's do that. So this is 1,000 Deaths, issue 2. And it was published April 12th, 2017. Written by Erica Schultz. Artwork by Maria Sinapo. Colored by Heartwork Studios. Lettered by Tom Napolitano. And edited by Anthony Marquez. Marcus, I don't know. And so this one has a couple covers that we met. This is the cover A by Joe Caroni, and it's got some hands in like a hallway looking thing with like a flame in the middle, and the pictures down here are taken from episodes. So these,
I was wondering.
so the Phoebe and Paige picture, that's taken from an episode, The Courtship of Wyatt's Father, except they changed Phoebe's hair completely because she actually had short. This was like the end of season 6, so she had her short kind of pixie cut with little growth in there, and they made it look like season 3, season 4 hair. And then the Piper picture is from Death Becomes Them. So they took shots from those episodes and made a cover out of it.
Wow.
The cover B, which is one with like the 3 girls like stuck inside a painting. That was by Maria. Beautiful color, like they're trying to get out. And then the cover C is the one that you had with Alyssa, season 8 picture. All right. So let's get started.
All right, it looks like it is noontime on Valencia Street, San Francisco, 2 weeks ago. We see Mr. Asian man with a painting on his back walking the street. And I'm not really sure, like, oh, that's still him looking into a store. And then this woman in the black dress looks outside. She's in an art gallery. And she says, sexily, might I add, she says, see anything you like? And then he says, as a matter of fact, I do.
I do declare.
I do declare.
All right.
Okay, is it just me or does it look like it's Jamie Chung?
It does look like her. Oh my gosh.
Is that Jamie?
I wonder if they use her as reference. Because that
Very
oh my gosh,
possible.
I love
Yeah.
her.
I think she might be my neighbor
Oh, wow.
because I'm pretty sure I saw her walk around the street.
Oh my
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Say hi. Hi, Jamie.
Without naming names, we have a rock star and a daytime soap opera in the neighborhood. Daytime soap opera star in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, if they're on Charmed, you need to recruit them for the podcast.
I don't know if they were ever on
Okay.
Charmed. You know what?
All right. Well, continuing on page 2, we see the man and the lady looking at this painting. Looks like a forest with like blood pouring down of it. I don't know if I like it. And then she's like, beautiful, isn't it? And then the man says, truthfully, Jillian, it's not really my taste. I was like, I'm here on other business. And then he grabs her hand and she's like, oh, gasp. Well, okay. Well, come with me. Back here, I might have something else that might pique your interest. Ooh, very sexy.
So,
Okay.
do you think he already kind of knows her? Because he knows her name. Or that'd be creepy if
Right.
you just threw that out.
Yeah.
I was wondering
I
that.
feel like they've met
maybe
before. Or they've had talks before because I think most like get an appointment, like to see these.
Hmm.
Okay, so they're going to the gallery, and she goes, I believe this collection back here may be to your liking. And the Asian man goes, come now, we both know what I really want. And she makes this weird kissy face, and she's like, ow!
Wow.
Come. And she goes, and we see this soul being sucked out of her. We have 5-year-old commentary, too.
Yeah. Like, ew, kissy. No worries. So yeah, this is actually going to be our power play moment for the day. Power play. Today's power play is soul absorption, much like Shawn talked about in Word of the Day. And soul absorption is the power to absorb souls of the dead or transient, if they're like kind of somewhere in between. The souls can either be absorbed directly into the body or stored in an object. Most beings possessing this ability use it to transport the souls into their respective places in the afterlife. But sometimes demons and other evil beings absorb the souls to feed off of them. Evil, use them as energy. Advantages of doing this can include adding the target's skills and abilities or knowledge to one's own, or using the absorbed souls to augment their own power. So there's things like that. On the show, we've seen it done a lot by Angel of Death. We had the Guardians. Maslin did it, but he kind of ate them whole, and the face is gross. Necromancer did it. So, and then like Valkyries and Cupids and stuff can do it with artifacts. The Crystal Sword, Gabriel did it. So Yeah.
So, fun fact: Erica's character Carmina is an energy absorption character.
Oh my
So-
gosh! See,
Wow.
full circle.
Yep.
So in Latin, the guy kind of looks like a demon now. He's got these elf ears, and his face looks darker, and I guess he's sucking the soul from her, right?
Yeah, he stole the soul, and now he's like doing
Her
something
soul,
else.
he's speaking Latin. He's doing some kind of a ritual. It looks like turn
Prime time moment.
Fratris May, and then a woman. Try not to get distracted. Befer.
I don't know.
Free. Oh, so it's a woman. It took a woman's body then. The demon?
Right. So it looks like he sucked her soul out in the last page, and then he did this spell.
Should we try a spell?
Turn honk pictrum in porta demonium fratus me, whatever, the rhyme time moment, and then he summoned a demon's soul out of the underworld and put it into her. So this is a male demon now in a woman's body. He's like, oh, okay, well, thanks.
Oh wait, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. That's why he's like a woman.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got that part. Now I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd be okay with that. That'd be so weird.
Oh, I'd be okay. Look at her. She's a bombshell. I'd go out. I would sleep around. I would play with my boobs in the mirror. Like, I'd have a great time.
See, Shawn knows. Shawn gets it. He's very excited.
I'm very excited right now. All right. Before I get too excited, on the next page, the new demon lady is saying, but her soul isn't in the cages. Where did it go, Jal? So the demony man is Jal.
Yeah.
And he says,
Yeah, from before.
Consider it a commission fee for all the work I've done so far. Now come. There's still work to be done. And like the way I read this page is the way that the demon is walking in the new body. Like she's a little Ariel just getting her new legs right now. Like she's walking a little funky.
Wait, I have a challenge. I feel like every time we have to do the demon needs to have an accent.
Okay.
Whatever accent.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so into this.
That's a new rule.
So which one, the Jaw demon or who?
Maybe the Jaw demon.
Okay.
Let's do that.
But I think of in Coyote Piper when Tara, the life essence, was a female ghost or female spirit, went into the man. He's like, walking should be interesting. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
That was Coyote Piper. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I remember that one.
Season 3, episode 9. Yes.
Yeah, you guys are better dance than me. I didn't even realize what that is.
All right. So next page. Oh, there's a lot going on here. Okay. So it says now. Yeah, because this whole thing that we just read happened 2 weeks ago, before the present. So now we're in now. Back at the manor, and we see Phoebe and Leo and Piper walking in, and Phoebe's like, I'm telling you, Piper, something weird is going on. And then Piper's like, yeah, like the IRS is on my ass, weird. Like, and the demon is multiplying, we can't find him. So she's like all this weird stuff happened last issue. And then she goes, Paige, because they see Paige in the living room area, in the sitting room, and we see her and her charge, Shayna, painting a naked man in the middle of the room.
And I feel like this naked man is you, Kevin, with a bun.
Oh yeah, I guess. I mean, I've done life modeling like this, so why not?
Yeah.
And Paige is like, "Oh hey, you remember my charge, Shayna?" And they're like, "What's up? Are you forgetting the big elephant in the room here?" And then Piper's like,
So
"Are
it
you
is
sure?"
you.
Yes, thank you. And Piper's like, I can't freeze him, Paige. Why can't I freeze him? She's like, please don't tell me you brought a demon into the manor that can't be frozen. How dare you? And Phoebe's just like, a sexy demon, because Phoebe's always about the naked men's.
Yep.
And then Leo's just staring at him, like, sadly, like, I want to be him. I want him to. I don't know. Because in our minds, Leo is canonically bisexual. So
Yeah.
Wait, he is?
Yeah.
I never thought
Oh,
that.
I will show you. I will show you the receipts. I will show you the receipts from the show. Even the comics in season 9. But yeah, I will show you. I've got evidence.
Okay.
um,
I mean,
he's
we can
lived a
just
long time. You know, there's lots of they're like vampires, lots of room to explore.
True.
So, and then Shayna's like, actually, I brought him in here, and then Paige is like, he's not a demon, he's not a witch, he's just nobody. He's nobody. Don't even worry about him. It's like, and then she gives Phoebe the side eye. She's like, so lifelike, huh, Phoebes? Like, I know you love this. This picture of Paige here is also going to be a "You Look Familiar" moment.
It's funny, she's so familiar to me, though. Reminds me of this old stray that used to hang outside my loft.
Familiars. That's what I'm looking for.
Have we met before? You look familiar.
This picture of Paige is very much drawn from a season 5 promo picture of Rose with the side eye and her red hair. Love it. So there you go. I caught it.
And
wow, I didn't realize they did so much reference.
when she called him a nobody, did your Kingdom Hearts senses like flare up?
No, but they did now.
You're welcome.
What's his name? Does it have an X in his name? I need to know. Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, I feel like I have to channel Piper her. So what do you mean he's nobody? There's a strange naked man in our living room. That's somebody. Yep, somebody on him. Phoebe goes. Phoebe! Oh, Saved by the Bell. Ring, ring. So they're all in the living room. Naked man's in the center. And Paige goes, Piper, I don't know what the big deal is. The big deal is you still don't get it. We don't get to invite strange men over. And Shayna goes, seriously? I can just get rid of him like in half a sec. And Leo goes, Piper, don't be so hard on Paige. Being a white lighter is a lot of responsibility. You know what? Now I see it. Like, he's
real close to him, hands on the hips, like...
He's totally checking him out.
Yeah.
And Phoebe just goes like, hold on, Elise. I can't really hear you. And the contact Phoebe, well, yeah, I wanted a lawyer to look over it first. Before I signed anything. Elise goes, well, that's going to be a bit difficult, Phoebe, seeing as you left it here while you mysteriously disappeared again. That's because I have to email the contract to my lawyer. Yeah. He's away on business. And Phoebe goes, I left it for Robin to scan so she can email it to me. Well, I'll let Robin know. I'm sure she'll be thrilled. You know what I think about this? I feel like how they wrote it just felt like you were still watching the show. Like they really captured everybody's sort of tone.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could really hear the actors like playing it.
Right. And I think about like, because last issue, this contract was like hundreds of pages. It was so thick and stacked. Like, she's like, I'm sure she'll be thrilled. Like she wants to scan all that in to email it.
So it's Rose saying, Piper, it's not like he's hurting anyone, and Piper says, that's not the point. And Phoebe says, thanks, Elise. Talk to you later. And this was
Shayna.
Yeah, I guess I'll just get rid of him. Oh, and he disappeared. So Piper's like, where'd he go? And I think it's Shane. And Shayna says, he was a mirage. That's what I do. That's my power. Great, right? So Rose is like, great, right? I told you he was nobody. Nice work, Shayna. And then Shayna says, anyway, I should run. I've got class in an hour. Thanks, Paige. I'm calling her Rose. Sorry.
No.
No problem. Well, her hair kind of stood out too. Kind of looked rosy in the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and don't forget about Gabe Pintor's showing at the Eisenberg Gallery. I can't believe you know him. And Paige says, well, I haven't seen him since art school, but still, he's so talented. And Shayna says, bye, guys. And Paige says, now, what was it you were so angry about, Piper?
I do love that they're bringing in Paige's history with art back into this, though, because she did used to be a painter. She had stopped painting. They brought it back and amused my ears. And, yeah, it's cool that it's calling it back.
Yeah, and that's Harry Phoebe's personality, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Have to fall for the hot female or warlock, or it's always.
Yeah, always whatever guy is around, really.
Whatever guy's around.
Remember, rules of engagement. Jal has to have an accent.
Oh, that's
Whatever
right.
you can call it.
I got you, girl. I got you. All right. Meanwhile, at the Eisenberg Gallery, Demon Jamie Chung is like, I don't understand why we haven't taken more souls these past few weeks. We could bring more demons up and... you're so impatient. If we claim these workmen now, then who would set up for the show? I don't know what accent this is, but it's an accent, so... You know how lazy demons can be. Yeah. And she says, I've kept tempers from running high in the underworld, but the natives are restless, Jaw. Perhaps more than just a promise is needed to quell their fears. Demons and their lack of faith. And then another guy comes up. He's very skinny. He's like kind of pointing out where the paintings go. He goes, that one goes on the left. He seems really bitchy. So it's going to be like, that one goes on the left.
Yeah, that's an accent.
Right.
That's West Hollywood accent.
Yes. So then we have one of them say, then what about him? And then Jal says, Gabe. No, Vefar. And then he says, Gabe is completely ignorant of his part in my plan. Besides, if we replace... Oh, he's gonna say it like this now. If we replace Gabe, then who is going to paint our beautiful portals? You! I didn't think so.
I feel like I'm watching Ratatouille right
I
now.
know, it's changed a lot. We're going all over the world with Jaw here. And then he walks away and he goes, Gabe!
Gabe! Gabe, you garbage! It makes me wonder though, because I thought the guy at the end of last issue was Jaw painting, but it might have been Gabe. So who knows? Because he had the same ponytail. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If he needs him to paint the pictures, All right.
Good luck.
Oh gosh. Okay. So here's Jaw, and he's like, "You're not worried about the show, are you?" And then,
Spot on.
Is it that obvious? And then, and he's like, "What if no one shows up?" I mean, he's like, and Jaw says, "Plenty of people will be here, and they'll all get to see your amazing work. Those pre-sales help to get the word out." And he's like, "Thank you, Jaw. I mean, I couldn't have done any of this without you. Oh my god!" And then Jaw says, "It's nothing. All I want is to see your talents like yourself succeed in this dreadful world. People like you, Gabe, you make the world a more beautiful place. Now, is that friend of yours from art school coming? What was her name? Oh, yes. Paige Matthews, was it? We reconnected. Oh, and then, oh, no. That's Gabe. Gabe's like, oh, yeah, Paige. We reconnected online. Man, I can't wait to see her. And then you should get all cleaned up. Go on. He's like, I'm okay. Like, Gabe, you can't very well meet patrons dressed like that, can you? Yeah, you're right. Good. We'll have this all put together by the time you get back. Blah, 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 blah.
Now, Jamie Chung is staring at the painting, and it looks like the soul's coming out of her again?
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Okay, so the soul's coming out of her.
This is the Vefar demon guy.
Oh, so this is Vefar. So, okay. Well, Vefar doesn't have an accent. It's not Jal. So what did Jal say? And this is Vefar, right? Like
so
the new demon?
the green guy down here is Surgat, or
Surgat.
She Purple Demon. He was also known as She Purple
Vefar
Demon.
is the guy
and then
who's
red. Yeah.
So he continues to think we're impatient morons. You've been up here for weeks with him. You don't agree with his grand plan, do you? And Vefar hasn't come close to giving us what he promised. Relax, Sir Jal will deliver. And we see all of these people in these cages inside what looks to be a wall. And Surgat goes, really? Because all I see is a lucky few demons enjoying their world while the rest of us rot down here. Jal controls the portals. I don't know how yet, but I'll find out. And when I do, I'll open them up for us all.
So pretty much, these two demons are not happy with Jaw's plan, and Vefar is trying to like secretly undermine him and bring the demons out. Interesting. Okay.
So what's happening to her now? She is pretty.
She's
this
frozen.
Right now, she's like a soulless body waiting because her soul's taken, and the soul that was in her is back in the underworld. So she's just kind of standing there stiff as a board.
So she's just standing there like
a statue, kind of.
A statue, and this guy says, "Whoa, what the?" And then it's the two demons watching, I think, through the other side of the portal.
Yeah.
I'm tired of waiting for you and Jaw. And it looks like I told you to have everything under. And then he says, control. I don't trust you or Jaw. This way I can keep an eye on both of you. Because we've still got empty cages to fill. Okay, so I guess that they're going to put her in a cage. Because they don't trust her.
So what's happening here is the two demons that were in the underworld, they stepped through the portal again, like you said, and so Vefar took over the lady again, and he brought Surgot back and put him in the Spike lookalike. So now both these people are possessed by demons, and they want to get more souls to put into the cages of human souls.
The first time I read this, I did go back a few times, and I feel like I never really got it until just now when we're reading through it.
I agree. I was kind of the same way. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It's like when Kevin sent it, I was like, oh my god, I need to do this homework.
I mean, it really is a lot to like decipher when you read these things. So I'm glad I read it a few times to kind of get my brain around it.
All right, so the three sisters, and I mean, okay. Further evidence, look at the way Leo's standing right here.
I know.
Totally lit.
I mean, between this evidence from the show, plus we had season 9 with his Rennick affair, and now we got this, like, Leo.
I feel like he's adjusting his erection from just seeing that fake man naked.
There you go.
There you go. So Mad Dog Piper's like, Paige, look, I know there's a lot on your plate with being a witch, a white lighter, and then Paige's like, and trying to have a life. And Piper's like, that too. But I'm concerned because as a white lighter, you've got extra responsibilities. And help me out, Leo. And Leo says, Piper's right. And she's not the only one. The elders are concerned too. Paige, you're destined to do so much. And Paige is like, I know, and I can't do any of that if I get myself killed running head first into danger, right? And she's like, it's just, I feel like I have so much to make up for. I mean, look what you've done already. And then Piper's like, you're doing great, Paige. Just do it safely. And the girls all hug, and Paige's like, yeah. And then Phoebe's like, hey, you want to make it up to us? And Piper says, check the Book of Shadows for a spell to vanquish that demon that made copies of himself. And then Paige's like, I'm going.
Why did Piper come out of West Hollywood?
I'm gonna try to do Galen's voice for Piper for the rest of this issue.
Oh yeah, he does.
Galen's voice is so great. Yeah.
Here, check the book. Is that how he does? Like, check the Book of
Shadows.
Shadows.
Check the Book of Shadows for a spell to vanquish the demon that made copies of himself. Do it now! Paige! I do have a You Look Familiar here, though.
It's funny, she's so familiar to me, though. Reminds me of this old stray that used to hang outside my loft.
Familiars. That's what I'm looking for.
Have we met before? You look familiar.
That Leo picture of him looking all stern, that's taken from Charmed Again Part 2, when he's standing in the hallway with Piper by the stairs.
It does look like him.
All right, next page. We hear, ding dong! And then Piper's like, Paige, and get me your tax returns too. And then we see the accountant from before, Mr. Wiskund.
Such a common last name.
Why do they make these names so hard to pronounce? It's like, and she's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, you ran out of my office without any explanation, and you've been avoiding my calls. Yes, well, I had a family emergency, so... This audit is an emergency, Miss Halliwell. I'll just set up right here on the dining room table. And then Phoebe comes in. She's like, Piper, who was at the... And then Phoebe's like freaked out. She's like, oh my gosh, it's the accountant. I had a premonition of him. You remember he tried to kill you? Oh my gosh. And then Piper's like, Phoebe, you remember Mr. Wiskund, the accountant? Oh yeah, and she says, now can I see you in the kitchen? While we see the accountant has these other clones with him as he watches them scurry off.
Oh my god, I feel like I'm in an episode of South Park right now. Alright, so they go in and Piper goes like, Leo, keep an eye on him. Piper, I had a premonition of that guy trying to kill you. In his office, not here at the manor. Though he may suffocate under a pile of paperwork. And all of a sudden, Mr. Viscount tries to stab them, but he won't. Poof. Not again. Are you alright? I told you so. We need Leo. Leo, kitchen, now. Would you excuse me? Guys, I wrote something corny, but it just might work. To who the hell are you?
Yeah, so there's a lot going on in this picture, in this whole page. It's jumping a lot. So I guess Leo goes to the dining room, and when he tells him to go, the guy comes in, Piper blows him up, and then Leo's with another clone in the dining room, a different one from the one that was blown up, and then he goes to check on them, while Paige comes down the stairs with a vanquishing spell. We say vanquish here to be different.
Ooh, I love how they did the orbing effect here.
Oh yeah, we love the orbs here.
And then, what's his name? The demon guy,
Mr. Wiskund.
Mr. Wiskund is full on demon mode. He's got the elf ears.
The ears, that's how you know.
And he's throwing a sword at Paige, and he says, "Die, witch."
She orbs away.
She orbs away and says, "Not today."
Satan.
And quick read. And then
oh, you got another rhyme time moment. Look at you getting all the rhyme times.
Why not? Let's try a spell.
Here, should we all do it together? Power of 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Demon who can multiply.
Get out of here.
Leave this
guy.
We would all die.
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't. I was more on it than the rest of you.
The thing is, whenever we try to do this over podcast, it never works. It never lines up. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Demon who can multiply, get out of here, leave this guy. I don't know. I mean, it seems juvenile. I don't like it, but I guess it could work. They've done stuff.
It was corny.
Yeah. They've done stuff like that before.
And he says, "No." And he bursts into flames, and then somebody says it worked. Okay, so Piper said it worked.
Yeah.
Don't sound so surprised, Piper. But what happened to him? This body, it has no soul. So he was possessed. A possessor demon takes over the body, but the mortal soul remains. Okay, so...
Yeah. Clarify. So they trap the mortal soul in the underworld in a cage, and then the demon soul takes over the body. So now that the demon is vanquished, it's just like a husk, right?
I see.
Yeah, right. So normally a soul would... The person's soul will still be in there, just like submitted. They would have no control. But because his soul wasn't in the body, it's taken elsewhere. That's what makes it different. So now he's just like a statue husk with no soul whatsoever. A nobody, if you will.
No pun intended.
All right, and then wait, who's saying this on the next page? Is it Leo?
Yeah, I think so.
It's Paige.
Well, something because he's saying a possessor. This is how it normally a possessor demon works. So the soul should be here. So he's like, this is something different. So
this is a different kind of magic. And then Piper says, well, we can't just have a soulless body standing in the hallway. And Paige says, I don't know. We could always say he's a sculpture. And then Leo says, that's fucking weird, Paige. Well, we have to bring his soul back soon. Otherwise, there may be no going back. Piper says, okay, Leo, orb him to the attic. Phoebe, search the Book of Shadows for how to get a soul back. Paige. And then Paige says, I have to be at Gabe's show in an hour. And then Piper's like, bitch, this is important. And Paige is like, so is this art show, bitch. I haven't seen Gabe in a million years. And then Phoebe's like, bitch. We see Phoebe grab the ticket to Gabe's show. And she says, because she starts having a vision. She sees like a demon coming into the art show to attack Gabe. And it's making like a sad face. And then Paige notices what's going on. And she's like, what did you see? And Phoebe's like, I hope you can make that invite a +2. I wonder who else she wants Paige to invite.
Yeah, right.
Wait, so who gets hit by the energy ball?
We don't know. It's some we don't know, but a demon attacks and somebody gets hit. I think she thinks it's Jaw. But in the vision she can't tell who it is. Because it looks like a demon though too, because there's like demon hands. So I don't know.
Yeah,
but maybe it's just a blurry image. So now we are at the Eisenberg Gallery, and we are in our fancy gallery clothes. Oh my gosh! So we have the Charm Sisters there with their extra tickets. And Piper's like, oh, she's got a really mean face here. I don't know what those eyes are.
I know, right?
I don't know.
This whole time.
No, this is like Botox brows.
Like, what happened to you, Piper? What makeup did you use for this event? I don't know. But she's like, do you see the guy from your premonition? Not yet. And then Paige is like, I don't see Shayna either. She's supposed to be here. She's like, well, we got spells, we got potions, and we prepared for any demon we may meet, so we should be fine. And then Piper goes to a painting, and she's like, 10 grand for this? Kid can do that with kid can do that with finger paints. And then we hear, well, I'll be sure to book that kid for our next show. And we hear, we see it's Gabe, and Paige is like, Gabe! And he's like, good to see you, Paige. This is my agent Jaw. All of this is his doing. And then Phoebe's like, ooh, enchanté, nice to meet you. Oh my goodness. And he's like, nonsense. You're the talent. I simply know how to market you. And then we see when she gets her little hand kissed. Phoebe gets a little hand kiss. She sees another flash of like Jaw stuck in a painting with like a soul coming out of him. And then he says, are you all right, Miss Matthews? Because he thinks that they all have the Matthews name. But Piper's like, it's Hallowell.
Ew.
What like South Park Piper right there.
And they're like, she'll be fine, just get her some water.
And then I'm guessing Phoebe goes, is that Phoebe? I think it's Phoebe, yes. That's the painting that pulled Jaw in. And Piper goes, before was he hit with an energy ball? Piper, Mr. Wiskundi Soul may be in there too. I've tweaked the body and soul spell. Okay, but we may need the power of 3. Paige, we need you. And, oh my god, what's the assistant's name again? The artist.
Gabe.
Oh my god, I told you.
Gabe.
No, Gabe. Gabe goes like, and then I'm so sorry, Gabe. I'm just going to run into the little girl's room. And so they all go and they start chanting the spell. We have these, before they all get together, we have these like snapshots of Jaw and Demon Jamie Chung just looking all fierce. Yeah. And they all go,
ooh, rhyme time.
A mortal split body from soul. What was asunder must be remade whole. And then all of a sudden we see the people disappear from the cages. And is it Bifar? Oh my god, I'm getting confused.
Who's the green demon? Surgat. He looks like a little cat going like,
like, body and spirit unite, so he can once more see the light. What happened? I guess Mr. Viscond is now back in his own body.
Yeah, so I'm going to say the spell altogether since it was kind of split between.
Wonderful, witty, but wordy.
So it's a mortal split body from soul. What was asunder must be remade whole. Body and spirit reunite so he can once more see the light. So that's the full spell in its entirely back to back. Yeah, and so his soul was returned to his body from the underworld cage. Yay! And he's with Leo, I guess, by the book.
Leo, did it work? Is Mr. Wiskunde okay? Yep, I told him we were looking for tax returns in the attic and he fell asleep. And he believed that? I'm very convincing, Piper.
Further evidence?
I'm very convincing.
Mr. Wiskunde is confused, but he's okay. Who says great?
Paige.
Wait, Paige. Great. Now I have a reunion to get back to. Sorry. And now another demon says, sorry, but I'm not letting the charmed ones get away.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's attacking them. And who is this? It's Piper.
Piper.
She's mad again. Paige, potion!
Beautiful. Exactly like that. Yep.
Okay. And then magic forces far and wide enchant this body so evil can't hide. Allow this soul to return therein and destroy the evil kept within.
I did the rhyme. I will do the time. Good night.
Ooh, another rhyme. There's a lot of rhyme
nicely
times
done.
in this book. Yeah, that was
And
beautiful.
Erica gets them all.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so partygoers are standing around drinking, and they kind of witness like this boom, and they see the demon like being vanquished, and the lady's like, "Oh, did you hear that?" And the guy says, "What was that noise?" And
I can't possibly. What's a horrible sounds. This is the worst art show I've ever been to.
Yeah. And then we see Jean, and he's like, "Yeehaw! What did that agent do?" And then Demon Jamie Chung's like, "Jean, wait!" And then we see the demon like being vanquished, going scream. And then we see Gabe, and he's like,
No,
"What?
this is Spike.
Oh,
this is
that's Spike. That's yeah.
This is Spike, mortal guy.
Whatever
his name is.
I think since he's like a
I'm
Spike
forgetting
ripoff,
name.
his name would be Thorn.
Okay. Sure.
So Thorn is like, "What? Where am I?" And one of the Charm Sisters, I think Phoebe, says, "You got lost. The showing is out there. The showing is out there." What does that mean?
The art showing, the gallery showing.
Okay.
But,
Oh,
yeah.
it's like it's out there. Okay, I get
Yeah.
it. I got it. And then Thorn is like, right. The gallery's showing. Oh, so he just answered my question. Thanks.
Yeah, so what happened looks like the potion and the spell combined, and it both vanquished Shurgot and brought his soul back. But I don't think his soul was ever stolen. I think he was one of those situations where he was inside the body the whole time because he just came from the painting. He never took his soul away. So
Okay.
yeah. Oh my gosh, the final page. Okay. So then we see the three sisters, and Paige is like, "Was that the exorcism spell?" And Phoebe says, "What can I say? I tweak spells when I have writer's block." Very keep that in mind for canonical. She says she tweaks spells. So I'm going to talk about that last spell for a minute in canonical. And Paige is like, "Works for me." And then Piper grabs the painting. She's like, "If this is the portal, then we've got to find a way to close it." And then she's like, "Well, take it back to the manor." And then we hear, "What do you think you're doing?" He's like, oh, it's Joel again. "You're not going anywhere."
Oh.
As the far Jamie Chung demon is like,
Your accent's only giving me like Vampire Masquerade vibes. I've just been playing it recently.
Nice. I would like to
So
point
that's-
out the demon in Demon Jamie Chung's body here, like he's feeling it now. Look at the way he's standing. He's
I
like,
know.
"I am in this beautiful body. I'm gonna live it up. I'm gonna put my ass out, tits up, like I'm living my dream."
See?
All right.
Safari, yeah.
Yeah.
Email
Yeah, that
calendar.
exactly. Right. Vefar. I don't know. So that's the end of the issue 2. What are our overall thoughts?
I feel like it was like a non-major episode. It was like one of the episodes in between where it didn't feel like a main storyline to me. That's kind of how I read it. Like, you know how sometimes they'd have like a 1 or 2 episode arc instead of like an actual series arc. This kind of felt like that to me, unless I'm wrong.
I mean, no, it's all valid, right?
Yeah, I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed like trying to, match it to the show, and
Yeah.
it was really exciting. It just takes you back into the world, and I like the comic version. I truly enjoyed it.
Cool.
I think Jal is giving me like Zanku vibes.
Okay, yeah. Just
Hey,
very
I-
kind of like
Always angry though. Like I noticed that. Yeah, she's so upset, but she really is in the show.
yeah, especially later on, yeah.
Frustrated or upset or.
I like that we're kind of exploring still this new dynamic with the paintings. And Mark is correct. This is very much like we didn't get a whole lot of new information. We're just continuing from issue 1. But like it's setting up a lot of really cool things. So I'm into this story. I'm excited to learn more, and I'm excited for Jal because he seems very deadly. Like he has a plan and he knows how to use it.
Mm-hmm. Like this, it absolutely does feel very charmed, just like the last issue. It does feel very transitory, but it's a fun journey. Like I enjoy the ride. I enjoy the characters kind of progressing. So yeah, just kind of more elements to the table where I get a little bit more understanding of what's going on. Anything for put that in my canonical hat.
Canonical.
And this is the segment where if there's anything that's a huge callback to the series, anything that stands out as incorrect lore from the series. So is there anything that anybody noticed?
I don't know. I mean, other than Leo, I think you just gave me a very new perspective on Leo. I feel like I just never read that on this show.
Watch the show again and then have that in mind. You'll see things.
Okay, fine. Because like even Brian's body language, I guess I just never really thought of it that way. But I mean, hey.
So, question for you. Maybe this is canonical, maybe it's not. Because if you don't know Mark and Erica, I just recently, in the past few years, watched the series for the first time. So I'm still a newbie. That was my whole take on the podcast. Did Piper have the molecular combustion at this point?
Yeah, she got it at the very end of season 3.
Okay,
correct.
So that's good.
Yeah, season 3, episode 20, Exit Strategy is when she first got the power.
Well, damn.
I remember that, and she exploded a shelf, and the plates fell on Prue.
Yeah, and the watermelon, and the glass, and the cabinets, and all that stuff, and the pot, the kettle, all the things. So yeah, she did have that.
Although I don't agree with how they drew her hands. I feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm being extra picky in terms of because she had her hands in a very particular way, and I feel like I don't know if that's really how she.
She just went like this, which
right.
I mean, I guess would still work, but it was a little unusual for her.
True.
I have this just what we talked about last week. Again, why do these demons even need portals to come to the human world? Because they're all of us are waiting for us to escape and get there. They never had problems going to the human world before. Just teleport, like you always do. Because it's not like they're banished or in purgatory or anything. They should have free reign to just go where they want. So I don't know. Unless these are really low-level demons. They can't.
That is really weird.
So that's one thing that keeps coming up. Possessor demons were mentioned, and I liked that because they were referenced accurately. We've seen 3 possessor demons in the show, more like season 7 and 8. But I think of Desperate House witches and things like that. But yeah, they exist. They're real from the show. So yeah, and that final spell we talked about that Erica delivered so beautifully. That was a modified spell of the enchantment spell from Charmed Again, Part 2.
Oh.
When she enchanted the sunglasses to see, the demon form.
I remember that.
So she took that spell and just changed the wording around to make it fit to this current situation. But it was cool. I'm I hope they. When I first saw that spell was in here, I'm I hope they reference where they took it from, and they did in the show. Phoebe's yeah, I just made it up based off what I know. So now I have tips for future white lighters.
Oh, we're really just messengers? Guides? Think of us as guardian angels for good witches.
Tips for future white lighters.
I was out being a force of good in the universe.
Anybody have a moral of the story?
Don't conjure naked men.
I mean, I don't. Why not? I didn't see a problem with that. But
I know that's the one though.
That's the one. Don't do it because it confuses Leo.
I mean, that's a very obscure question for this episode.
Yeah, sometimes it's tricky because
don't possess people.
Don't possess people.
I know.
Yeah, that's not nice.
Don't trust guys from art school.
Oh, I went to art school.
Oh no!
I'm gonna take a little bit of a liberty here because I know that these people are possessed, but I'm gonna kind of summarize it as you never know somebody's mental state. Because, like, you know, Jamie Chung took him into a private area and then she got attacked. And, like, in the end, Mr. Wakande attacked. Like, you just never know. Inviting someone into a secluded place or your home, you don't know where they are mentally.
I just love how we're now just referring to her as Jamie Chung.
This is your fault.
This happens all the time on the show, that we always have nicknames for everybody. Every character has some kind of nickname. So
in the Zenescope comics, they were attacked repeatedly by Rob Zombie. So that's where we're going with the stuff.
Yeah. Mine is piggybacking off of yours, and I think about to reference Wizards of Waverly Place or Swan Princess.
We're really getting deep.
I know. Not everything is what it seems. It's not what it seems. It's not what it seems. No. Sometimes further investigation is needed to uncover the truth, and there's layers that you might not be privy to. So go ahead and keep digging. Next is onomatopoeia. What's your favorite sound word? There's only a few. I think there's only like 3 in here. I picked Thum.
I mean, I've always liked the scree.
Scree!
Yeah, that's where I was going, just because it's so annoying.
Or you can do burn, or whatever the rip phone. Burn! Burn! Bring! I don't know.
So I'm sure Shawn knows, when you write comics, sometimes it's the sounds that's the most challenging to figure out because people write them differently. Yeah. So you're like, is the way I'm writing it making sense?
Well, yeah, actually, that's a good point, because in the Zenescope, whenever the phone rang or the doorbell rang, it was bing bong, and in this
bing
one
bong.
It's ding dong, which is like, I feel more common.
So what do they use for Piper's powers in the Zenescope one? Like whenever she explodes somebody, because here it's like thoom.
Yeah, they did booms. I know the freezing was zoom, ZHUUM or whatever was freezing.
No, that makes sense for the freezing.
But I think it was just like boom, or shoom, or whatever.
Yeah. I guess it's between Thum or Calf. That's what I've got left, right? When he takes the soul and he's like,
yeah, that's cool.
That one. I'll do that one.
Okay.
I'll do that.
All right, so now we're at most valuable panel. What's your favorite drawing, your favorite picture in this?
I'm going to say, even though Holly Marie Combs wasn't available for this comic and she was replaced by a drag queen, when the 3 sisters are at the Eisenberg Gallery in their like beautiful dresses, I think that so perfectly like captures the sexiness of the sisters in the show, but also like the fun different ways they would show them in different outfits or different like characterizations. So I chose that one.
Nice. I like that too.
Yeah, I think for me it's when it's that scene when Paige orbs away, because I've never seen the orbing in the comics, and I thought that was pretty cool how they did that. It kind of had like a Star Trek vibe almost.
Let me tell you though, the orbing in this comic is so perfect, especially after the comics. The Zenescope comics, they look like watery blurble bubbles. We did not like the orbing in the Zenescope comics, so this is like a nice, like refreshing depiction.
Yes.
Yeah, no, this is pretty. Yeah. Like, I think that's why I like it. It's pretty when she orbs out.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. Mine is gonna be that close up on Paige's face, because I think she looks so good and she looks so like sneaky and like coy, and like I like it a lot.
It's funny. I just was scrolling, but I do like the one where she's painting the sculpture, because it's like a lot of it revolved around them being at home. There was always some kind of drama or danger in their house. It always.
Are you sure it's the naked man?
They're having fun. It's like that, it's like their day-to-day life. It's like between that page. Oh my god.
What happened?
I don't know, but it was also between that or the orb. I liked also, or when they're coming together doing their powers, even though
sure.
when they're doing the power of 3 thing, and then the orbs. And even this one where he's doing the spell. Oh, you can't see.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's great. I know. That's like magic, like really cool magic.
It was very, it's just like that instantly makes you realize it's charmed.
So now we're at sexiest drawing.
I feel like it's, you know what? I was actually just thinking out loud, or not even, I'm going to think out loud. It's that very end shot where Piper's like pointing out and they just made her dress like it was just about to drop. I was like, It's the last page. I was like, that's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know. I just don't feel like they made Piper as sexy on the show, except for during Coyote Piper.
It's true.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting to see her in a dress like this because I've never seen her in a dress like this on the show.
Exactly.
I mean, I hate to say it, I thought for me it was probably the lips of Jamie Chung, and right before she gets her soul taken.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
The kissy face she's doing, where she's like,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, her eyes closed. You see her beautiful eyeliner and lashes.
Mine's also on the last page. I like this image of Demon Jamie Chung and Jal. Like, she's all standing with her ass out, and he's all like, even though I have long hair, and usually Shawn doesn't like that on men, I'm still sexy, yo. So I'm liking these villains.
That's my favorite shot too. That's my sexiest too.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
It's good. It's really good because she's no longer walking awkwardly. She's like, I am feeling my oats. I'm the sexy red demon, fuck me daddy Satan demon, but now I'm gonna be a sexy fuck me daddy woman.
She's gone from Ariel to Vanessa, and now she's giving me Vanessa.
All right, so now we are at the ranking: Magically Delicious, Pretty Witchin', A Sorcerer's Apprentice, Disenchanting, or Vanquishable.
A Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Okay.
What was the second one?
Pretty Witchin'.
Pretty Witchin'. I like that one.
Yeah.
I also I brought it down a little bit because of how hard it was to follow. So I gave it Sorcerer's Apprentice. But I like the story overall.
I mean, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. Like, if it's just about the rating, that's what I would give it. But did I enjoy it? I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So I gave it Sorcerer's Apprentice too because it's a great story. It's a good story. It's fun. It does leave me wanting more. So that's why it's like, I know that the story is going to get there. My P is for poll for next week.
Prue? Piper. You mean it's just you and Prue, huh?
Phoebe? Phoebe, you there?
And a big hello to you too, Penny.
Come on, Patty. The rest is up to them.
Paige. My name is Paige. Another P, imagine that.
P is for poll. I didn't have one picked out, but I decided here it's just going to be a P is for poll. Do you think Leo is bisexual?
Yes.
I'm just gonna say yes now. I have to rewatch it.
I feel like their romance, it always seemed like he wasn't as into it, or maybe she's just so angry all the time.
All right, so that's the end. We did it, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
No, thank you,
Sean.
Yes, now,
Sean, tell us.
I'm looking at photos of Leo.
Yeah.
Just healing men with bare chests.
Yeah. Yeah. Sean, tell us what's next.
What's next? We have part 3. On the cover, we see Paige doing her best Jennifer Connelly in Labyrinth as all the hands grab at her. But this isn't believable because none of them are grabbing her huge jugs. Like, obviously, that's the first place you'd go. But she's coming out of a portal, it looks like, as the hands are grabbing at her. And it says, as souls begin to rack, I see what they did there, rack up in the underworld, more and more demons begin to pour over into our world. The charmed ones begin to suspect that Jal is behind the gallery attack and decide to investigate to prove it. Can they find out what they need to or fall prey to the latest attack?
Yeah. Number 3.
That sounds exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll tune in next week for that. Mark and Erica, tell us where they can follow you and find you and see all the things you do.
You can follow me at MarkFX411. But you can also follow our comics at Diwata Komiks. That's DIWATA, and comics with a KOMIKS. If you follow me, you'll have lots of just trips, dogs, ice creams. But if you follow the comics, you'll have more of the comics. Speaking of dogs, here's Rosie.
And for me, it's just _Erica Julia _.
Beautiful. Sean, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram under Shawn Porrett. That's Porrett. There you'll find Kevin and me on Solving for X, where we're going through the 90s X-Men show. Or you'll find my book, which I mentioned earlier with Angie, Witch's Brew, A Dream of Waking.
Yeah. And you can find me on my personal Instagram, KJEEZY87. Or follow this podcast at Words of the Witches, all the places, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, or Words of Witches on Twitter. And yeah, we'll see you next week, Spellworders. Your destiny still awaits.